How's it going, everybody? We got a special guest today, Andrew Roberts.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing? So, Andrew, tell us about yourself a little bit.
Well, let's see. I grew up in Indiana. I grew up in Garrett, which is a small town north of Fort Wayne. I've lived here most of my life. I did my college at Notre Dame, which is in Indiana. I did my medical school at Indiana University, which is obviously here. And then I did most of my residency. I did a little bit of training out in Washington, D.C. for a couple of years before moving back. But I've been here like I said, most of my life except for a couple of years. As I alluded to, I'm a internal medicine physician. I have practiced both in the hospital and outside as a outpatient, as a primary care doctor. My most recent job was at the VA, the Veterans Affairs, doing primary care, but I left there back in February when I decided I wanted to run for Allen County Coroner.
Oh, nice, man. Allen County Coroner, a lot of people don't really know what that is. Even me, I actually really don't know. I mean, I know a little bit, but not really. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, and you aren't alone. I mean, the majority of the people I talk to don't know what the coroner does. A lot of people don't even realize it's an elected position. And for the people that do know about it, they really don't care that much about it. So it's not one of the more exciting elected positions out there, but what a lot of people don't realize is it's a lot more important, and it actually has a lot more power than what a lot of people even realize. So in general, I mean, the coroner's office, their main job is to kind of investigate all the unwitnessed, suspicious deaths in the area. Even if someone lives out of town but they die here suspiciously, we would still be in charge of them. So we do the autopsy, the toxicology, kind of figure out manner and cause of death, and then report that. So that's kind of their main job, but they, like I said, they have many different functions that a lot of people don't even realize, and a lot more power. And that's kind of one of the main reasons I wanted to get into it.
Nice. Just curious, you said that when suspiciously die, right? So let's just that you guys do find out what happened to it. Let's just say it wasn't just a normal death, like it was a murder or anything like that. What happened then?
So it depends on the case. I mean, so yeah, you're right. Not every case is a coroner's case, so it's not. We don't have enough time or manpower to do autopsies on everybody. So basically, it's when there's a question of how they died or why they died. So if you saw if we found a dead body downtown, and we wanted to know, you're right. If it was this a suicide or was it a homicide, and if it was a suicide, what caused them to die? Was it an overdose, and what did they overdose on? But then that gets reported to, I believe, some sort of database that, and we work closely with the law enforcement, like the police department, to work with them to kind of handle these cases.
Oh, okay. I get a little, I understand a little bit of it now. So, so you're running. This is your first time, right? Running?
Correct. Yeah, I've never run for any office before.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Congratulations. How's it going so far with that?
Well, running any sort of campaign is a lot more time consuming than you might realize going into it. There's a lot that goes into it. You're constantly needing to raise money. Any campaign, their main priority is fundraising. So you're spending probably over half your time just trying to raise money. And then the other half, you're trying to go out and canvass and phone bank and reach your voters. So there's really not enough time in the day to kind of do everything that you should be or that you need to be doing. It almost becomes another full-time job.
Wow, I see. So, like as a resident here at Allen County myself, so why should we vote for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I have my elevator pitch, but basically, I have a lot of new ideas to bring to the coroner's office. The current coroner, I'm not going to speak negatively about, but it's he's a little bit older. He's been around. He's been in that position for I think over 3 terms, spanning a couple decades. So it's time for some new blood, new ideas.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
How old is the? But by the way, sorry to interrupt. But how old is the other guy?
He's currently 75.
75. Dang, is he older than Donald Trump?
I believe Trump is 78.
78.
So yeah, pretty much the same age.
Same age.
Yeah, old enough where they most likely should be retired.
Right, or at home shelter or something. Yeah. Right. But yeah, okay. I like that. I like that answer for sure. Aside from that, I can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Like I know you are a retired medical doctor. Can you tell us a little more on how you get to that?
Yeah. So, for those of you that don't know me or can't see me, I'm pretty young. I'm 40. So when you say retired doctor, that's not the typical age that most people retire.
Yeah, you look like you're in your like teens or early 20s, man.
Yeah, no, I get that a lot. I still get carded when I go to bars or whatever. So,
yeah.
I mean, even though I have a ton of gray hair, but I'm hoping that'll serve me when I get 50 and 60. That I'll look like I'm in my 30s still. But yeah, it's
good
not
problem.
Yeah, definitely a good problem to have. But yeah, I am not like I said, the typical physician, or I didn't take the classic road that most people take. I initially started like any other normal doctor. You do all the schooling and training for God knows how many years, and then you come out. I had a massive amount of debt. I think I had like $500,000 in debt.
Damn.
So, of course, you go work for a hospital or some institution, and then start paying off your student loans. But I was a little bit different in that I started while I was working full time at one of my jobs. I started a kind of a side business or a business that eventually ended up overtaking my full-time job in terms of money and time. So I've left my main full-time job as a physician to run the business I started. But I sold that a couple years ago, and fortunately I sold it where I don't need to work anymore. I'm actually retired a couple times. The first time I retired after selling, I got really bored because, as a busy doctor and entrepreneur, you're used to working all the time. And then when you're suddenly at home and you have nothing to do, then you need to find ways to fill your time. So I actually went back to work a couple times. Like I said, I most recently I worked full time at the VA, but this time around when I retired, I made sure to fill my free time with a lot of activities, mostly volunteer activities, like how we met through SCORE, which is a business mentoring nonprofit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You. Wow. That's a really cool story. Especially you retired a couple times, huh?
Yeah. Again, that's not very usual as well.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure, man. And then like I know that like even when SCORE, you're just not a regular SCORE. How do I say, like employee, right? Are you the president, right?
Yeah. So just joined SCORE earlier this year, back in April or May. So I haven't even been with SCORE for a year, but they we're looking for kind of new leadership. The current leadership's been there for many years, and they were kind of getting burned out and tired of that position. So when I showed up, and again, like I said, I'm kind of young blood, and they wanted someone to bring in kind of new ideas and someone that could kind of take over the reins. So they kind of made me become the president, even though I wasn't really looking for it or necessarily wanting it. But yeah, I'm the current, actually co-president. There's another individual that is sharing duties with me.
Well, congrats, man.
Thanks.
So once you become like a coroner, if you do, are you still going to be doing SCORE?
Yeah, good question. Technically, the coroner is just a part-time position. I believe it's only like 10 hours a week. So the current coroner, I think he just goes in like 1 or 2 days a week to kind of do his work, and then the rest of the time he's off. So I would have enough time to still do some of my other volunteer activities, such as SCORE. Although, I don't know. Since I've never done it before, I don't know how much time it actually is going to take. So I might pull back a little bit, but
yeah. So it's actually a part-time thing, a coroner. It's not a full-time thing at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
At least that's how it is here. I don't know how other coroners' offices are across the state or country, but it's just a part-time position here.
Yeah.
And again, not too many people know about the coroner or the office or the position, but the coroner isn't actually the one doing like the autopsies or any of that. It's more kind of an administrative position, so you're kind of overseeing the office and making sure it runs okay, and you have a bunch of deputy coroners that are actually doing kind of the dirty work.
I see. Yeah. But I mean, I think you got a great resume just to, like, an MD, just to be a coroner,
Yeah. Well, and another interesting fact. The coroner, technically, you don't have to be a doctor to run for coroner. The majority of the coroners actually in Indiana and across the country are not. Probably over 90% are not. Our current coroner is a doctor. He's Dr. Brandenberger. I think he's family practice, but and obviously I'm a doctor running against him, so it's really rare that a doctor is running against another doctor for that position. But like I said, majority of the times it's a non-medical doctor, professional. It can be anyone basically, just as long as you have a high school diploma.
Wow. Yeah, for a second there, I thought you had to be a doctor to run for that,
Which the majority of the people have that same misconception. So, I mean, that's one reason I applied for that particular position, is because, being a doctor kind of gives you some credibility to that position over someone who isn't. And because the current coroner is a doctor, you basically should be a doctor to run against him to kind of match his credentials. Right.
Like, yeah, he got a pretty strong credential as well. Yeah. But I mean, I think you got like that young blood in you, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's probably your advantage.
Yeah, no, definitely. Not only in my position, but for many of the positions, age has come up, especially this election cycle.
Right, that's cool. Okay, man. Wow. Okay, that's a lot to process in. But I think I'll vote for you.
Awesome. Well, every vote counts, and I definitely need every vote.
For sure. And I hope everybody's watching this vote for him too.
For sure, yeah.
But we're gonna end this keeping it short. I think we're gonna end this right here. This is actually our first podcast too, and we're glad to have a special guest. And thank you for coming out here, man.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. All right, Andrew. Andrew Roberts.
Yeah.
Andrew Roberts. Vote for Andrew Roberts at Coroner. Allen County. All right.